Hello everyone, welcome back to your favourite channel, Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. And we've got quite a few topics to get through today. We're going to be talking Joshua Zirkzee, interest stepping up. We've spoken about him before, being on a potential shortlist. Now it's slowly becoming a priority if you listen to the ITKs of the world. We're going to be talking about Jadon Sancho's replacement. We're expecting him to go out the door, but there's been a couple of players today especially that have been linked. And we're going to speak about Kobbie Mainoo, a couple of quotes coming out from his press conference for England today. And then towards the end, we'll discuss, obviously, there's a game on tonight, Portugal, Ronaldo, Bruno, Dalot, some kind of United links there. So I want to get into that towards the end. But before I do that, what's your rating on a 10 today, Sam? How are we feeling?
Tiredness? Or what
just in general, I'm gonna say a 6. Just gauging.
No,
if I know you well,
I'd say like 4.5, 5. I'm probably at. Like I got consistent sleep last night, but probably not enough. And then today's just been like full on with a new client. I only finished like literally 5 minutes before we got on here, so been a bit of a thing. So yeah, but I've just seen is it Arda Güler goal?
Oh,
Jesus, what a fucking strike that was! Jesus Christ,
man. Young talent. What a talent. We're gonna stick with young talent. Ornstein's just dropped not a bomb, but like quite a big news in regards to Zirkzee, so it's almost perfect timing in that sense. And we was going to discuss it anyway because Florian Plettenberg put something out, and it was also something from another journalist. But Ornstein has quite literally just tweeted, Man United exploring a deal for Bologna striker Joshua Zirkzee, interest advanced, and dialogue with strikers camp. 23-year-old among multiple options, no club-to-club talks yet, but United considering approach, and they're aware of the €40 million buyout clause in the contract. So yet again, another player with a release clause. Sam, Florian Plettenberg also put on this. Zirkzee still one of the desired targets for United in attack, who are closely monitoring the situation. They're aware of the interest from AC Milan. However, the high commissions and demanded fees are currently complicating the transfer. United are also informed about this. Look, this is a guy we spoke about before, Sam. A good, solid, young striker, different profile to Rasmus Højlund. Physical, tall, can hold up the ball, link play well, scores a variety of goals, so offers something different in that sense. But if the agent's pushing for the fees that I'm listening to, I'm hearing like 10, 13 million in commission, Sam. That's like a third of the transfer almost that we're talking about. That's a little bit ridiculous, isn't it? If that is the case.
Yeah, but agents are going to agent, aren't they? That's what they do. They want to get the most money, not just for their client, but for themselves, because they get a nice little kickback when a player signs for a club and stuff. So I'm sure they want a big piece of the pie. If that's on top of the release clause, then yeah, that's slightly different. Like if we have to pay 34 million and then pay another 10 to 14 million on top of that, it's a bit much for my sort of pocket. But maybe something can be negotiated. Maybe we can knock it off the transfer fee, or maybe we can give him 6 million and then say you get the other 6 or you get the other bit if you hit XYZ, get number of goals, number of appearances, blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's some negotiation around that, because old United would have been like, yeah, let's just pay it. Or let's try and negotiate for the entire summer, realize we can't, and then go, okay, we'll pay it, rather than look at other targets. Like, I'm sure there's other targets on the list. I've heard names been mentioned and stuff, but Ivan Toney is one where you're like, he's probably going to be more expensive, I'd imagine, than Joshua Zirkzee, even with this agency fee. Jonathan David's been mentioned. I don't really rate him, and I haven't heard much other than the United are keeping an eye on him. I've not heard much on that, so how far advanced that is, I don't know. But yeah, it's just greed, innit? That's what it is at the end of the day. The agent wants more money. That's what it comes down to, which I think there should be... I don't know whether there should be salary caps, but there definitely should be limits on how much an agent can take from like transfers and stuff. Definitely should be some sort of rule there.
Yeah, I think Gary Neville's been banging that drum for a while, and to be fair, in terms of just regulators on almost everything in football, because when does it get to a point where they start asking for like half the fee for the player because they're negotiating the transfer? And when you have, a certain amount of clubs that are competing against each other, agents know they can push the fees up because it's well, they desperately want him. We know they need a striker. In AC Milan's case, obviously Olivier Giroud's probably going to be leaving. In our case, we definitely need someone. He's gone. So, there's going to be some. I'm sure there's other teams as well that haven't even been mentioned that are going to be competing for him. So, I get why an agent would push that, but for the price, I mean, like 10-30 million, that is a lot of money for an agent alone just to make a move happen. And obviously the release clause is release clause, so the club can't do anything about that whatsoever. So I don't know. Is it worth paying it at that point? Is it?
You gotta hope.
I'm not sure, man.
You just gotta hope that we've got football people in now, like Dan Ashworth's coming in, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox. You hope that they've got negotiation skills on some sort of thing, and they can be like, "Look, this is ridiculous. You know it's ridiculous, and that's why you're trying to push it." And Old United may have paid it, but this is a different structure now, and we ain't gonna pay it. So if he wants his move to United, which I assume he will do because he wants to move to a top club, then you're going to have to give us something else because that's ridiculous. And if they don't, walk away, move on, go to another target. Same with the Jared Branthwaite situation. If Everton want to dig their heels in and demand 70, 80 million, just walk away. Deal with somebody else. Like, that's what we need to learn to do as United fans. Not United fans, as United, as a club, because it's been too long since we've done shit like that. We've just overpaid and overwaged people and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I'm done with it. So, if they want to be difficult, the agents, and he wants to ruin his move, and then he ends up not moving at all, that's on him. But yeah, either try and negotiate. If they're not interested in being stubborn, move on.
Well, according to reports, I've seen a couple of things this morning that Ineos are trying to get 2 through the door like early, quite quick, before July. So I'm guessing that's Branthwaite and Zirkzee by the looks of it. I mean, I've seen a couple of bits about Kirkes, but nothing advanced on that. I don't even know who the midfielder is, who they're going to get. There's a couple that they're looking at, but honestly couldn't tell you in that sense. So they're the 2 that look like it, and we definitely need players in that position. The one question I'd ask about Zirkzee, Sam, is will he be happy fighting it out with Højlund? And what if Milan are offering him, like a starting place in the team? He's obviously already in Italy as well. You've got that comfort of staying where you are in that sense. I mean, I don't know how close Bologna is to Milan. The geography isn't great.
But I think they're both North Italy, so it's not massive.
In that sense, like Everton and United, let's say, like relatively, it's not too far to travel. So yeah, that's something that you'd have to question, wouldn't you? In terms of, there's a couple of things there in that deal to Milan.
Yeah, I like. I think obviously he's Dutch and he came through. Is it Bayern Munich's academy? I think he came through.
Yeah.
So he's obviously well travelled. Like, he's Netherlands to Germany. Now he's gone to Italy. So I don't think it's a question of like, I don't want to move countries, stuff. Like, he clearly is willing to move where it's best for his career or where the money is, like, because he's done it. So I don't think that's the case. I just think, it's a case. It might be a case of starting minutes and like how many games he's going to get, that kind of stuff. That's probably a big sort of thing for him, because obviously he's their starting striker for Bologna, isn't he? Like, he's their main man. So Milan would probably be the easier fit for him, because obviously with Giroud sort of heading out, and then you're getting supply from like the likes of Rafael Leao on the winger, and you've got sort of other really good players behind him. You got Hudson-Odoi there and stuff like that. So there's a supply line there. You're going to be the striker, the first team striker, so it makes sense. AC in the Champions League this season? They finished top 4?
I believe so. Yeah.
So Champions League football, which is another sort of bonus. So all signs would point to AC Milan at this point. I think the only thing United could compete with him is it's a project. So they're building to something. The wages, we probably can offer more money than Milan, I'd imagine. I know Milan have got slight financial constraints. So we could probably offer him more money. And is Ten Hag a pull? As it being a Dutch guy, he's a Dutch manager. Maybe he knows about Ten Hag. Maybe there's a connection there. I don't know. So yeah, on paper it looks like Milan has the edge, but you never know. He might see Manchester United and he might remember United from when he was a kid and stuff. It's like, okay, something. So you never know, man. You never know. I think we've got as good a chance of any, but on paper I would say Milan's probably the better option for him right now. But who knows, man? Who knows?
And also cost-wise, can Milan afford that? You know, I'm looking at the players that they've got and the players that the money that they've spent on him. I mean, they've not really got close to like the 40 million mark off very often. I'm looking at the strikers as well. They've got Giroud, who's, you know, you said he's already going to America, I think it is. You've got Jovic as well, who plays for him. Leao can step in there, but that's like saying Rashford can in that sense. So they definitely need one. I just think it's interesting that they kind of playing. It's like, right, well, who can afford more money in the sense of it would be United, but there's a release clause, so that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking playing time, he's going to get more playing time at Milan. Like you said, he's going to get Champions League football. So I think that's quite difficult. More difficult than people may realise, I would probably suggest, that deal.
United aren't the catch that they once were. We don't offer Champions League football. We aren't really... Yes, we won a trophy this year, which, again, might interest him, because Milan haven't won a trophy, but United have. So maybe that interests him. But we're not in the Champions League. We're not competing for titles. We're not pushing even towards Champions League places, if we're honest. Like, so... Yeah, on paper, it's Milan all the way, but I would like to think he would consider United just because of our history, because of what we're building. Maybe we can sort of sell it to him saying, you're the first piece of this puzzle that we want to put in and we want to build stuff after you and stuff. So maybe that, I don't know. There's got to be ways where you can entice him beyond the money.
Premier League and United are a big pull in themselves, aren't they? So that's on our side. A new opportunity, of course, to go, like, it's, you know, and obviously he's going Euros now, isn't he? So I mean, I don't know if that would be dragged out because of that. But I'd be eager to see him for Netherlands as well if he can get some game time there.
Is he without Weghorst, and will he come on and score a winner like Weghorst did?
Well, yeah, it's a great point. Maybe we should just bring Weghorst back. Fuck it. My Damn United makes a great point. It says, but has Milan got a Trafford Centre with the Gregs?
It hasn't. However, it has got the Duomo, which is one of the nicest looking buildings in the world.
Is it a Greggs though in Trafford Centre? It's not quite.
There might be a Greggs in there now. Like there wasn't when I was there.
Is there Greggs in Italy in general? That's the question.
There wasn't one in there when I was there last time, but they have got the San Siro, which is there.
I was wondering what you was doing then. I was like, oh yeah, you've got it in a frame, haven't you?
One of my favourite stadiums. So Milan's a really, really good city. Really, really.
I want to visit Milan. Yeah, I want to go to Milan. And there's another pull for you, just the city of Milan as well. Probably much more beautiful than Manchester. Milan. Exactly. So there's 3 or 4 reasons why Zirkzee would probably prefer removed there. But let us know your thoughts. There's quite a few of you in the chat. Would he be, you know, your first option on the list out of strikers? Of course, we've been linked with Jonathan David, Ivan Toney, and there's a couple others in there as well. Do you think Zirkzee's the best option? I personally think, and he also kind of pushing more for that, or whoever it is who's leading the recruitment at the moment. Just simply because of the price. I think if it was all the same price,
it leaves more money available for other areas that need addressing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If you
and a huge, exactly, you're going to say it, go on.
Yeah, if you spunk like, 60, 70 million on Ivan Toney, that leaves you really short in getting another centre-back if you can, if Lindelof goes, in a midfielder. And then if, say, you want to fulfill that left-back, Taiwo Kirkez or whatever, it leaves you short in those areas. And I think Ineos want to address as many areas as possible, I think, this summer. Like with the limited budget that we have, so I imagine price is one of the most important factors when it comes to sort of buying players this summer.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And let us know if any of you have watched Zirkzee. I've seen quite a few bits of him. I mean, I've been banging this drum for a while myself. I just think, yeah, like I say, he offers something different to Rasmus, and I think you need that in certain games where, let's say you got a team who, you know, a bit of a low block, dropping deep, you need to play some balls into the box, or, you know, you just can't get a foothold in the game. You can play it up to Zirkzee, hold on to it, links play well. Like, it's just something different, because you've seen Rasmus sometimes, haven't you, Sam?
Yep.
Get lost in games. And I also think Bruno Fernandes, the areas he likes to take up in games, tactically, it would make sense as well, because you'd have Zirkzee dropping a bit and then fucking Bruno can bomb on. So, absolutely, I think this is a smart signing if United do it, but we'll have to see how this develops. Jay saying, what strikers? Go on.
I've just seen something from the Athletic. They've just put out Thiago Motta, who was the manager at Bologna, has now gone to Juve, so managed Zirkzee. He said, can't compare him to anyone. He is special. He deviates from the modern striker. He's more than just a penalty box presence, and he's got a unicorn skill set. So 84 shots he had. This is non-penalty this season. 51 with his right foot, 27 with his left foot, 6 headers. goals 9, XG 7.4, XG per shot 0.09. So yeah, he's and then this graphic average distance 17.8 yards. So he's very much within that box, which I think Rasmus Højlund differs a little bit. He likes to run on to the end of balls, so you get, like you said, get something a little bit.
Yeah, to be honest, the way Thiago Motta described it, I think he should be his fucking agent. That was a nice choice of words. One unicorn of a striker and these kind of things. He should be getting a fucking commission.
Unicorn skill set. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of him, so I hope this deal gets done. We'll come back to that if anything else breaks on it. Obviously, Ornstein's just about 10 minutes ago put something out about it. So if we get any kind of follow-ups on that, we'll circle back to it for sure. I promise you that. Georgia have almost just scored a fucking late goal at the end there.
I've just seen it like fucking hell.
Almost.
Georgia, man,
at least Euro's
Georgia's been good, man. This game, like I've seen the most of the game. They've been really good. Like Kvaratskhelia, what a fucking player he is, man.
Good player. Ardagula, top player.
Oh, fucking hell.
That is so close, that.
Oh,
big clearance. If anyone's watching this game at the moment, oh my God.
Absolutely.
Like a watch along. Right, let's move on slightly then. I want to talk about Jadon Sancho's potential replacement. So Sky Sports Seth, I think I don't know. It's Darmesh Seth, I think his name is. I always pronounce his name wrong. Sky Cavi's mates. He said if Jadon Sancho leaves Manchester United for the club, if Jadon Sancho, leaves Manchester United, the club are looking at targets for that position. That's a given. United are discussing internally whether to make their interest in Michael Elise more formal. I think that deal's out the window, personally. Xavi Simons is also one to look out for as well. Now, Xavi Simons, Sam, I don't... Oh, my God, who scored?
They just scored?
3-1, Turkey.
They counted. I must be a second
That is
behind.
Crazy.
Hold on.
Oh, my Lord. Anyone else
Counter, and he's by himself. He's just literally by himself, and he's ran like 200 yards and passed it into the net. Fucking hell.
Football is a cruel game, man.
Wow.
Honestly, it's a cruel game.
Georgia, man. Gutted.
Poor Georgians.
Absolute good.
Yeah. But, circle back to Xavi Simons. I think only from what I've read, a loan move is possible. But if you're looking at how that kind of dynamic's working, Sam, in terms of you could push Garnacho and Ahmad out on the right-hand side competing. We've had Luckhurst come out today with the news, which I'm sure you've seen yourself. And then maybe Rashford and Simmons on the left. Would that work for you, or would you want more of a permanent sign in there?
Yeah. Have you just seen the Ornstein thing he tweeted 10 minutes ago about Zirkzee?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we spoke about at the start.
All right, I've just seen it now, so...
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I like Xavi Simons. However, it's going to be a loan deal, isn't it? If we get him, because he's just re-signed with PSG and they're not interested in selling him. So it's like, do you want to develop Xavi Simons for PSG? Do you want to do that, and then you lose him at the end of the season? Like, is it worth it? Wouldn't you rather go invest in a young winger that you permanently buy and you develop yourself and it becomes something? I'd rather do that. I'd rather go find the next Ahmad. Like the next sort of like young up and coming winger, 20, 30 million, spend it on him and bring him in and let him develop next to a Rashford or a Garnacho and be the next option. Because hopefully the right wing, I don't want to see Anthony, but in realistic terms, I think we're probably going to see him.
Forgot about Anthony.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're probably going to see him because it's just what it is. So you got Anthony and Ahmad flying out for the right, and then Rashford and Garnacho on the left. So you could maybe bring like a versatile winger in who could play both sides, because Garnacho could play both sides theoretically. Ahmad can play in the 10 as well, so maybe get a versatile sort of young. Let's go with why don't we use our South American network that we're setting up? Surely there's a winger there that we can pick up for like 20 mil.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a world beater, does it? You could bring in a prodigy, like a young prodigy.
I just think a loan from PSG, so we develop their player. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
There's a winger in France that a lot of people are raving about at the moment. It's like something Dew, I think like Doue is a winger. Loads of people raving about him. 30 million quid. It's supposed to be like a top talent, something like that. Like I'd be happy to go and get something like that, because look, they're not going to let Rashford go, so he's going to be starting majority of games next season. Same thing with Garnacho. Ahmad's going to be kind of be floating about. So I think a signing like that would make more sense. The reason why I'd be open to a loan, because we haven't got much money. The money's only going to stretch so far. We've both said we don't want to spend 60 mil on the lease because we've got other shit to prioritise. So a loan, I wouldn't mind that. Honestly, I wouldn't mind it at all. Maybe with an option, not like an obligation, but maybe with an option to buy. If you could throw that in there, if PSG would be open to that. I'm not sure, but Xavi Simons is. I've watched quite a bit of him. He's
a good player.
Top talent. Top talent. You mentioned Kvaratskhelia there for Georgia. He obviously wants to leave Napoli. Is that something maybe?
How much is he going to cost?
Yeah, it's pricey, innit? I think Napoli was like, listen, he's still got a contract till 2027, so you know
that you're
and we know what Napoli are like.
You're talking 80+ million there, aren't you?
Yeah,
great player, fantastic player. I think he would be fucking phenomenal for us, but we haven't got that.
Do you remember Koulibaly?
Yes.
How much he was asking for it? Like 100 and fucking.
Went to Chelsea for what, 40?
Awful, and he was awful.
Yeah,
he was shit.
I like him a lot, but he's going to cost an absolute fortune, and we just haven't got that kind of cash. So.
Yeah. Sean's in the chat, so we're signing the dude from 300. Exactly what I said, Sam. Loans ain't the one. Yeah. Go shopping in South America and get a 16-year-old for 12 mil, says Jay McGruggan. McMillan says, what were people saying about Turkey versus Georgia earlier? Best game of the tournament. Last 6 minutes were absolutely mental.
Great game.
But I think to be honest, McMillan, a lot of games have been like that. Like Ukraine and Romania, I was saying yesterday, I was like, I'm not fucking watching that. I stuck it on and I was like, oh my God, I scored 2 absolute worldies. And the game was, every game's been, it's not been one shit game, has it?
Probably the worst game is the England game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Every other game I've been thoroughly entertained, whereas the England game, I was bored out of my fucking mind. So
Yeah, absolutely. Watch this Portugal game be absolutely shit now. Everyone's been hyping it up and talking about the finger.
The team's out as well. So Bruno, Dalot, and Ronaldo start. So.
Yeah, I've got the full. We're going to discuss Portugal towards the end. I've got the full lineup and everything there, so I'm interested to get into that. Let's quickly move on to Kobbie Mainoo's comments. There's a couple of things here, Sam, for the press conference today. And he got asked about his playing time and his experience at the Euros. He was saying, I'm ready to play, whether that's off the bench or starting. Obviously, there's other great midfielders in the squad in the Premier League or abroad, like Jude Bellingham. I'm trying to train hard and be ready when I'm called upon. And it got me thinking, don't players who, I saw someone put this on Twitter before, don't players who are in the press conference, is that a similar theme that they start in games?
Yeah.
You've seen it in Europa Leagues and Champions League press conferences, haven't we?
Tends to be the trend, doesn't it? Like, if someone's in the press conference, they're normally going to start the game. It's normally the captain a lot of the time, isn't it? Or a senior player. So it would make sense. I hope he starts. It'd be nice to see Kobbie Mainoo start. I thought Trent had an awful game. I thought he was really, really terrible for England. And I thought we were crying, especially in the second half, I thought we were crying out for some sort of control and some sort of like someone to get a foot on the ball, make accurate passes, pass through the lines, be strong, that kind of stuff, which all the things Trent wasn't. He was misplacing passes. He looked lost. Didn't look like he knew what to do next. Whereas Kobbie, you know what he's like, calm, measured, knows exactly what he's doing and just gets on with it. So I think it was crying out for him. So yeah, maybe I don't want to give Southgate too much credit because I don't think he deserves it personally. But if he picks Kobbie Mainoo, he's clearly learned from his mistakes in the game against Serbia. The problem is that left-hand side, isn't it? Like, we haven't got a left back. Well, we have, but we're not sure of his fitness in Luke Shaw. Don't know how fit he is or if he is fit at all. He was on the bench, but I don't know where his fitness is at. And Phil Foden and Bellingham just can't seem to play together. So it's like, does he drop Foden and put a Gordon in or someone like that who's an actual winger, and then you put in a Kobbie Mainoo? I've just seen it, yeah. God, mate, you're ruining this show. Ruining it.
And someone's put Harder Goulet. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah.
These guys, man. Trying to do a professional show here and give, like, precise, accurate critique. And you put it in, you're ruining it. Well, you're not ruining it. It's funny.
John, when we get sponsors, mate, you're just going to lose us every single sponsor we get, mate. Like, it's just going to be the show. It's like, we're not sponsoring this fucking shit show. I would like to see that. Whether he does it or not, I seriously doubt it because I think he might just play the exact same team, personally.
I agree. Yeah, I think he will as well. Kobbie also spoke about Erik Ten Hag as well, about, obviously he knows he's staying now. He was happy to be building with him, got 2 trophies. Hopefully, 2 trophies already is mad. Hopefully there's more to come. Peace of mind to know what manager we have when we return. I'm so grateful for him. He put so much trust in me to play in the team. I can't thank him enough. And he puts things into perspective, really, doesn't it? Because all the criticism that he's had for tactics and other things and blah, 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 he's obviously had a huge impact on Kobbie's career, hasn't it? And I think it'll be one of them where he'll remember him for the rest of his career, won't he?
Yeah, he seems to be. Also, Richard, we've always been professional. What do you talk about? When did it become professional? Always professional. Yeah, we've seen the impact of young players, especially under Ten Hag. Like Omari Forson, we spoke about it today. Thanked Ten Hag personally when he left in his message for United. Yeah. Said he wanted him to stay, and he thanked him so much, like for his development, getting into the first team. You've seen the likes of Garnacho develop massively under Ten Hag. He's trusted him fully because he's played like 40-odd games. Kobbie Mainoo. You've seen the likes of like Harry Amas, Louis Jackson, Ethan Wheatley all get onto the bench. Ethan Wheatley even getting minutes as well. Willie Camboala, another one, chucked him straight in at West Ham. Did well. He did well against Liverpool as well. So he's clearly really, really good with the young players and knows when to bring them in, when to not, when to sort of have them around the first team. We saw the famous moment at the end of the Carabao Cup and he had his arm around Kobbie and was like, "This will be you next year." Literally a year later, he's at the FA Cup final, lifting the trophy, and he's got him back there. So yeah, I think the impact is clear to see, and I think a lot of people say, "Oh, what players he's developed?" I've just listed a bunch of players that he's developed, and then you can add Dalot onto that. I think Dalot's had his best ever season under Ten Hag. I think he's had a fantastic season under Ten Hag. Luke Shaw last year was one of his best seasons. Obviously this year he's not been like majorly fit. So I think he's developed a lot of players, and the young players especially, which is, again, it's United DNA, isn't it? Like, United has always been about young players and bringing through talent like that.
Yeah, and I also think managers like working with young players because they can mould them into what they want and what they see in a player. You see Poch do that quite a lot. And like he wants to bring in young players so he can kind of, the brain's a sponge in it, almost like a tactical sponge. So they want to kind of ingrain their style in them. I think you can see that Ajax as well. You listen to De Ligt, De Jong, Donny, Ziyech, Neres. Any of these guys speak about Ten Hag, it's always high praise. Tadic the other day, speaking about him, saying he's the best coach he's ever worked with. So yeah, that's one big plus with Ten Hag for me. And I think Kobbie will remember him for the rest of his career.
A lot of managers, like when certain players play under them, they just click and they niche together. Like you see a lot of players who played under Jose, who he just relied upon. They followed him to the end of the earth, and they were just like, yeah, he's the greatest manager ever. I think you're seeing that with a lot of players wherever Ten Hag's been. You've seen a lot of players who like, look at all the players he brought in over the summer. He brought in players he could trust and he knows well, and they all went absolutely. And was just willing to, like Lissandro, he was like, he had an offer from Arsenal, but he spoke to Ten Hag. He was like, I will come to you if you want me there.
Yeah, Amrabat,
another one. Yeah. So
yeah. I love that. Absolutely love it. Right, last thing. Should we talk about Portugal then? Because obviously they kick off in around 50 minutes' time. A couple of questions I got about this because I think there's a couple of interesting angles on it. You've obviously got Bruno and Dalot who are playing, who are current players. But we can't speak about Portugal without speaking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Starting for them today, you mentioned the team before. So just for anyone who's watching who's bothered about the Portugal game, Diogo Costa, Ruben Diaz, Pepe, Nuno Mendes, João Cancelo, Vitinha, Bruno, Dalot, Bernardo Silva, Ronaldo, and Rafael Leao. That's the team they've got. It's pretty fucking strong. And then you look at the bench.
I was going to say, what's on the bench?
Pedro Neto, Diogo Jota, João Felix, Gonçalo Ramos, Paulinho, Ruben Neves, Matias Nunes, João Neves, and Semedo, Antonio Silva, Inacio Pereira, Jose Sa, and Rui Patricio.
Their bench would start in our first team.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean? Yeah, some of their players are fucking ridiculous, aren't they? But yeah, Cristiano, Sam, can we see him doing it? You know, to kind of, I mean, the guy will probably go to the World Cup knowing what he's like, but
yeah,
can you see him doing it?
Why not? Like, they've done it before. They did it in significantly less style last time. It was very pragmatic last time they won it. It was like 1-0 wins.
Yeah. And
it wasn't a show of dominance, should we say. They sort of
it wasn't emphatic, was it?
No.
Yeah.
And now with the team they've got, they all seem to be maturing or like coming up around about the same time. They all seem to be hitting their peaks or being noticed. So with the stacked team, they could and I don't want to say carry him, because obviously Ronaldo still has something to offer at this point in his career, but that team around him, like if he's going to do it again, this is going to be the team, innit? Like you're not going to get a much better team than this to sort of take you to the final and take you to a win. So yeah, like I think the two teams I've been impressed with most this tournament have been Germany and Spain, and I think if Portugal put on a showing, that might be the third one, and they might be a 3 to watch where you're like, these might be the guys, these might be the ones.
Do you know what? Austria really impressed me last
Fantastic.
night.
Yeah, fantastic. But they didn't get the result. Didn't get the result though.
No, of course, that's what matters. But I look at like England got the result, right? And then I look at how Austria played. I would much prefer to play like Austria, but if you don't win, then it means fuck all, doesn't it?
In tournament football, it's all about 3 points.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Like, and if you don't get 3 points, it don't fucking matter. You can play as well as you want. And you don't get 3 points, you're out.
Cristiano's notorious for getting 3 points. I think he'll score some big goals. I do. Even at the age he's at in a minute. Like you said, the creative players he's got around. Rafael Leao, Bernardo,
if he doesn't have to press and he just has to stay in and around the box, put a ball in, he will finish. Like he will.
He will. Yeah. Crazy. If he does do it, wow, €2. That is it's mad. Obviously, Messi's just won the World Cup, so you're like...
Just the World Cup missing, innit? If he got the World Cup, he might just overtake him.
Who knows? He might still fucking win it if he goes to the next one. You know, you never know. On Bruno Fernandes, expecting a good tournament for him because he obviously had really good form, didn't he, kind of towards the back end of the season. Do you think he's going to light this one up?
Yeah, he always seems to play with so much of reverence and freedom for Portugal than he does for United. For United, it just seems like he's fucking grinding and just trying to will the team on, where he just seems to be like effortless for Portugal. Scores a shit ton of goals, plays a very much a more free role than he does for United. But United, he seems to have a lot of responsibility and a lot of stuff that he has to sort of do. Whereas Portugal, he's free to roam around and just get on and sort of like destroy teams single-handedly at times. So yeah, I think he'll be like De Bruyne didn't show up for Belgium, did he? Like at all, really?
You don't think?
No.
I thought he had a good game.
I thought Belgium were poor, really poor.
I thought De Bruyne was good, but anyway.
So yeah, I think Bruno, this is his time to shine, man, and he deserves to win it. I think he's one of the hardest working players in world football. He's clearly got the talent. He's clearly a fantastic player. So yeah, if he's going to do it, then why not do it now? I think he's fully deserves his sort of place in a minute, and I hope if England can't win it, I hope a lot of United players get quite far, and Portugal with Bruno and Dallo, I think they'd be good options.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Where I can't remember your predictions. Where would you rank them? Where do you think they're going to finish?
I think they'll get to the semis. I think the semis, maybe final.
Depends on who they play as well, innit? Like, because you never know what kind of thing. I don't know what their tournament bracket things like. I know we could play France in the semis, couldn't we? Again, yeah. I think I'll close to that. So
I think Portugal could definitely make a semi-final. Like you're looking at the 5 teams I think could potentially make a semi-final: England, France, Germany, Spain, Portugal. I think they're probably the ones. Maybe in Italy, maybe. So yeah, I think they're definitely contenders for sure. But you can't until you see a performance today. Like if they just absolutely destroy, who are they playing?
It's Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. If they just put them to the sword, then you're going to be like, okay, they've got something about them. So if they struggle and it's like a France or an England type performance, then you think maybe it's not quite yet. But I think was it what stat was it? It's like anybody's won the tournament, they've never had a great first game, something like that. Like the performances have been poor. So yeah, could be interesting either way. But I'm looking forward to the game.
I think you made a great point yesterday about it feels like the old times with Spain looking like the back in form, Italy looking like the back in form, even Germany, because they've been pretty underwhelming the past couple of years. And it kind of ties everything in together with this stat that I've just seen as well. So this Euro 2024 has seen the highest percentage of goals, 32% scored from outside the penalty area at any stage of the competition since Euro 1968.
Mental.
I say football is healing. That is crazy. I mean, it's been a good tournament so far, man. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I love tournament football, but I really hate it when you get excited for it and then just the opening group games are just a fucking dull drag.
It's not been dull.
That's what I'm saying. This year they haven't been. But you know when you watch a tournament and you're watching like Azerbaijan against like Panama, and you're just like,
Panama was one. I was like,
this is just terrible. I can't fucking like. Why am I sat up at 2 PM watching this shit?
Yeah.
But every game so far has been, I think the only game that's been a bit dull is England. think everybody else has been really, really good.
So shit because we've got arguably one of the best teams in the fucking
mental.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. I think Bruno's definitely gonna have an involvement in it, and obviously I think Ronaldo could potentially do something. But again, they've got that much talent. Yeah, I wouldn't like to be Czech Republic anyway. I think we're gonna have a difficult night. Right, let's read out some comments before we head off because we don't want to leave the people hanging. Would Madrid give us Goulet for Anthony only if he was smoking strong substances, Richard? I would get both Zirkzee and Maximilian Bier, sorry. Is that the striker in Germany? Is it the Hoffenheim? Is it? I think.
Is it Hoffenheim? I can't remember. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah. Bier can play both right and left wing as well as a striker. I wouldn't mind a bit of a utility forward, in fairness.
Yeah.
Abibi Deliso says, please, I want Zirkzee, Gay, Humlan, Coleman, Inacio, Frimpong, Diolmo, Kirkes, and Teo Hernandez.
Where are you getting the money for that, mate? Jesus
that's
Christ.
A big shopping list. Yeah. Even Qatar, if they came in, probably wouldn't afford that. The Portuguese are another side with a lot of young, talented players coming up. It's unreal, just like French. I think young talent in general, Sam, in this tournament. Like Arda Güler, we spoke about then, who's like tearing it up. Lemmy, I can't pronounce his name. Yamal for Spain, 16 years old.
Good. He's really good.
Fucking Mainoo, Bellingham, like the list is endless. So many young players who are tearing it up at the minute. It's you love to see it. Germany's being drowned in water right now, so the game could be ruined by too much water on the pitch. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Neto would be a mint right wing option if he could stay fit. Yeah, injuries are a massive issue with Neto, Sam, aren't they?
Yes, and Jota as well.
Yeah.
Jota, I think Jota is a fantastic player, but he's just injury hit all the time.
Yeah. People speaking about Belgium. I thought Belgium were poor. Belgium had the golden generation and flopped hard. I called it. I said it was going to be absolutely dog shit this tournament.
They've done it every tournament. Every tournament, they've got fantastic players, like great players. They had Eden Hazard and all that sort of stuff, and then they just shit the bed every time.
Shit. Always. And then Steph's in the chat as well. Missed the live today, I think, on the afternoon show. So big up Nick and Sam. Hello, Steph. I hope you're doing well. We'll leave it at that. We don't appreciate Portugal's playing at 8 o'clock, so people are going to be watching the Euros and stuff. We consider it like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Of course, if anything breaks about Joshua Zirkzee, we're going to go live. Best believe it. Because that deal seems to be heating up. Leave your thoughts on Zirkzee as a striker, whether you take him at United, and if you think we've got a chance at getting him over AC Milan currently. Big thank you to everyone in the chat. Smash that like button. Help us hit 5,600 subscribers, and me and Sam will see you in the next one. See you in a bit.
Peace.